can you feel it? Can you feel the timeline shifting? Because I can, and it doesn't make any sense to the human eye. I am, the past like few weeks, I have been flying. I don't even know how to, I feel like I'm on a magic carpet, and it feels like I'm traveling the world. It feels like the world has opened up for me in a way that, again, does not make sense to the human. It does not make sense to the life that I'm seeing. But internally, the timeline is shifting. It has already shifted. And we're just now watching the unfolding of it in the physical reality. And every single little expression, every single little shift is truly a miracle. It is truly a miracle. And even if it's, I don't know, something doesn't play out exactly how you wanted it to, it's still working out. It's still working out. It is the perfect unfolding of that timeline you know is true in your heart. In my heart. Everything is the perfect unfolding. And it takes a matter of perspective. Truly, genuinely. And sometimes to get to that perspective, it is a journey to radical awareness within us, where we are not we're not identifying with the lens that is the character of our human ego. And I'm not using the word ego here in terms of narcissism. I'm using the term ego as in like our personification of our spirit as a human here on earth, right? When you're not identifying with that lens, the world opens up so much. So much. And when you accept yourself as unconditional love, and you know you can stand firm in this knowing that your internal world is the truth, it is your truth, man, the entire earth, the entire world, like I've just been getting these flashes of like, I don't know, visiting every single culture on earth, of interacting with, you know, people, gaining knowledge, information from every single culture, and seeing the interconnection of humanity through these experiences. And again, it doesn't make any sense because I am not traveling right now. I'm just in my bedroom, just hanging out, vibing hard as fuck. Man, life is truly limitless. You are truly limitless. The world is our playground. The world is our playground. And it's like, are you just gonna sit by and watch everybody else play? Or are you gonna go and like interact and actually like live the life? Live the truth of your internal world, of your dreams. Because I've been talking a lot about being the neutral observer of your reality. And it's like, yes, you are the neutral observer of your reality, of your experiences, but we're also the player. You know, like in a video game, like you're you're controlling the player. We have full autonomy in what we do and how we act and what we say, and like, I don't know, how we can show up in the world. And it doesn't have to be limited by the person you were 5 minutes ago, by the person you were a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, especially a year ago. Life is truly limitless. The kingdom of heaven lives within us. God lives within us. When you pray to God, God is not outside of you. The universe is not outside of you. The universe is quite literally within you. And you know, maybe sometimes we interpret it as our subconscious. Where am I going with this? Oh, fuck. But it's the kingdom of heaven is our subconscious and our consciousness. It is all one. It is two sides of the same coin, which is God. Okay, let's get into the reading. I have 3 decks for us today. First, we're going to cleanse the energy. We're going to cleanse the aura. Okay, so first we're going to be using Wisdom of the Oracle deck to open up these messages. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit, for these divine messages today. We have time for a nap. Time for a nap. So maybe it is a time for rest. Maybe in your physical reality you've been very busy. Or it could be how do I say this? Not in your physical reality, but in your like mental reality, which is a little bit different than your internal reality. Where like it's like the thoughts, the mental narratives that are playing in your head over and over and over. It is the ego's interpretation of the physical reality that we need a nap from, that we need to take a nap, we need to rest from. So if your physical life looks really busy, please take this as confirmation to give yourself a break. And if it's your thoughts, your racing thoughts of you trying to figure it out what this physical reality means, where it's going to go, where you're trying to make meaning of like everything, or trying to like psychoanalyze a situation, just give it a break. Give it a break. Okay? Release yourself from these thoughts. Because they could be good, they could be bad, but either way, if they're racing, if they're taking a lot of your energy, Spirit is saying go back within. Take a rest. Meditate a little bit. All right, what else, Spirit? Thank you, God. Thank you, Source, for these divine messages of awareness, clarity, unconditional love. Not for you. Okay, so maybe there was a rejection, or something didn't play out the way that you wanted it to. But I'm sensing a lot of balance, where even if something doesn't work out for you, your faith is unshakable. I want you to look at this card. I think the little fortune cookie is really funny. I don't know why, because it just says nope. And with the number 6, I'm getting, that energy of balance, of being able to accept what you see in your physical reality, accepting it, and if it doesn't work out for you, that's fine. You're just keeping on. Because what wasn't meant for you, or whatever it is that you were anticipating or expecting, it didn't work out because, God has something better for you. The universe has something better for you. To where you couldn't even start playing this game of chess. You couldn't even start to strategize with the situation of whatever it is you wanted. I hope that makes sense. Because, when something appears in our reality and we're like, oh, yes, I want it. That's it. That's the thing I want. We start to get into these, I guess kind of thought loops of okay, how is the best way to strategize? Or what is the best way to move forward? How can we, I don't know, play this game in the correct way? But Spirit is saying is that whole thing, that whole paradigm where you have to do that is not for you. It's this chessboard is the thing that you were anticipating, that you really wanted. You were about to start playing, about to hit the ground running. And then the universe just drops this fortune cookie. It says, nope, that's not for you, that's not yours. But see it as, we're seeing it as a blessing, because it's for whatever reason, we don't need to figure that out, because that will eventually come to us if it's meant to, right? Whatever reason, it is a protection. It is protection of your highest timeline, of your dream reality, and of your dream self, your dream identity. Anything else, Spirit? Thank you, God. Thank you, Source. To be fair, yeah. Excuse me. To be fair, yeah, so, Spirit is really saying here, everything is just. Everything you're experiencing is out of the highest good of everybody involved. And look, we have, oh my god, we have the little fortune cookie on here again on one side of the scale. So know that like this protection, this rejection, this this disappointment is just one side of the same coin. The other side is your blessing, your highest timeline. So when you're experiencing this rejection, you're experiencing, you know, the universe redirecting you. It is so this highest timeline can manifest. Even if this rejection, like you're still kind of confused or like, why did this happen, you know? You don't need to figure that out. You don't need to ruminate over why something didn't work out for you. You know, you just accept it, you move on, and you know that that is a sign from the universe that your highest blessing, your highest timeline is promised. It's promised. And we have the owl on this queen's head, on this lady's head. So it's the spirit of infinite knowledge, of the benevolent, all-knowing being that is the source of all creation, that is guiding us. What is this? I don't know what's on the other side. Like, I don't know what's on the, that's not the fortune cookie. What is it? The left side? The right side? I don't know. Whatever side it is from you. Right here. If you can make out what that is, please let me know. But maybe, you know, maybe it's a message that's like, we don't know what our biggest blessing is. We don't know what this highest timeline is actually going to be like when it unfolds in the physical reality. But we know that it's there, because if we can perceive a trigger or if we can perceive a rejection, we know that the opposite is true. We know that the opposite is true. Because it's like the nature of duality, you know, that we perceive on Earth as humans. And when we're in this place of non-duality, when we're this little owl that's sitting on the crown, we have this perspective that justice always plays out. Justice always plays out. Okay, we're going to get into the tarot. See what other messages are here. Dive a little deeper into this. This message of... Okay, I'll take the first one. So we have the King of Pentacles. So this is a very generous person. The King of Pentacles is somebody who's willing to give. It's giving like sugar daddy energy, but you know, it's also wealth, generosity, spiritually, energetically. It's not just money, it's not just like, you know, the superficial of it all. It's the meaning behind all of it. It's the energy that is being shared. We have the Page of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. Okay, I'll take 8 Wands. Okay, we'll do one more. King of Pentacles. Yeah. Six of Swords. And on the back of the deck we have the Magician. Okay, Master Manifester. That's what the Magician is. The Magician is the master of all four elements, of all four suits, of I'm getting a connection here with the To Be Fair and the Magician, where it's like we are this owl on top of, we are the owl that has this higher perspective that transcends duality. From that place, we are creating, manifesting, attracting. We are building our internal reality without having to rely on the physical reality. And the universe is hearing you. Because you are the universe. You are the universe, especially when we're at the top of these scales, when we're the master of duality, is what I'm hearing. We gain all of this knowledge, all of this power. I'm not even going to say it's about learning information. It's just a knowing of the heart that is giving us this power to create our highest timeline. And we have the 10 of Cups on the back of the deck. Look how cute. So cute. Okay. 10 of Cups is blessings. It's everything you know you want plus one more. It is being open, and the Sun card. Okay, look at her. Okay, I went to the beach yesterday and I was watching this girl just frolic into the ocean, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. And literally she reminded me of this card. She reminded me of this girl just like living her best life. It was so cute. It was so wholesome. Okay. 10 of Pentacles and the Justice and the Page of Cups. This King of Pentacles is somebody who is not just physically abundant, but is spiritually abundant and is so generous with not just like the material, but with their spiritual energy, or just regular energy. I don't know. Everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And this Justice card is reconfirming the To Be Fair card of everything works out. Everything works out. When you get a rejection, that is whatever magnitude of this rejection, however it felt, know that all of that energy that you feel is to propel you into the highest timeline, which is justice for you. It is the scales of karma. The karma is not something that's outside of us. Karma is something that we choose. Karma is all in our power, and it's not... Excuse me. It is something that we choose when we're radically honest with ourselves and when we have this higher perspective of the duality that we perceive in our physical reality. With the Page of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles, I'm getting that, like, you're learning to build your imagination. It's a skill set. It's a skill set. Learning to not just imagine, but to have faith and to trust in your imagination. And it's a skill set that you're building. By just staying in this higher perspective, by using your autonomy as source, as the operant power of your reality, each and every present moment, every time you do that, you're becoming wiser, you're becoming more sovereign and more trusting in your own divinity and in your own imagination, in your own creative nature. Whatever it is, it's manifesting really fast. This creative flow. Okay, I'm getting a message with the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands is like, when you build this skill set, when you're focused and you're like disciplined in your highest timeline, as your highest timeline, the creative flow to act, to live, channels through you. It channels through you. It's like the Eight of Pentacles is like the building of a container, building of a conduit, so sturdy and so thick that it's able to hold all of this passion and all of this creative flow and all of this energy of unconditional love from the universe. Meanwhile, when we're creating this structure that is the conduit for this creative flow to run through us, we are surrendering. We are surrendering to whatever presents in the physical reality, to our physical eyes, to what makes logical sense to us. With the Eight of Wands and the Six of Swords, going back to my opening statement, excuse me, confirmation burp. Another confirmation burp. my opening message where it's like, we're just flying. In the state of surrender, you're just letting the universe guide you. And it's fast and it's powerful, and whatever passes you by, like, it doesn't faze you. Whether it's a trigger, whether it's a glimmer, because you know you're on your way to the highest timeline. You know that it's already manifested. All you have to do is surrender and just be guided. Allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to trust in your intuition and your inspiration. Okay, we're going to close the reading with some messages from Mary Magdalene. Thank you, God. Thank you, Source, for these messages of awareness, clarity, and unconditional love. Resurrection. The ego dies, the soul rises. Resurrect in this life. So in this state of surrender to our intuition and to our inspiration, you are being reborn. You are being reborn into this vessel that can hold all of this passion, creative energy, everything you've ever wanted to manifest. Everything. You are being reborn into a more soul-based life. Resurrect in this life. The ego dies and the soul rises. I'm getting another message of like, to not focus so much on ego death. Because when we're focused on ego death too much, we can get into our spiritual ego. Just start boasting about how many ego deaths we've had. But know that even any memory you have of ego death is an illusion. Because the only thing that exists is the present moment. We can get caught up in these stories of, oh yeah, I've been going through an ego death, which, it could be valid. I'm not, denying it, because it's beautiful when it happens, but the message is to just focus on the soul. Focus on the end, highest timeline. And don't focus so much on the death of your ego, because that's just naturally going to happen. As we move through life, like, ego death is not the goal of life. Ego death is not the goal of life. It is when the soul rises. But the thing is like, we are already the soul. And as long as we can come back to that truth, as long as we can remember ourselves as a soul, the ego deaths are a byproduct. Okay. What else? Thank you, God. Thank you, Source. Hey, if you're still listening, you're still here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching and listening to these messages. It really does mean a lot to me. Yeah. Whee! If you resonate with anything I've said, please like, comment, subscribe, share. And again, thank you. Thank you for all of it. Okay. What else? Mary Magdalene. Remembering I know who I am. This came out in the last reading. Okay, so that kind of reconfirms what I was saying about remembering your soul, remembering who you are. Remembering who you are when no one is watching, when the world is just passing you by, as people come in and out of our lives, as situations and experiences manifest and then become a memory. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember your own divinity. Remember yourself as the creator of all of your realities. Remember your soul. The rose. I trust divine timing. Everything comes from within. Hold on. With the rose, and I trust divine timing. Getting a message with this rejection. This not for you card. When the universe stops you in your tracks to then pivot. Know that it's your highest self that's doing that for you. It is your highest self that is guiding you to the life that you're meant to live. And with this I trust divine timing, I'm feeling called to talk about what that really means, divine timing. Because from the human perspective, when we hear divine timing, we think of, something could, anything or something could, our blessings could manifest at any time. And we're just lost and confused. And how am I trying to get this message across? It's I can't even explain it from the human perspective. That's how confusing it is. I used to not like the term divine timing because it still has the word timing in it, and I don't know, cognitively makes us focus again on time. But time is a construct. Everything exists right now. Everything exists in the present moment. Everything exists when you go within and you remember that you are a soul. Timing doesn't even matter. Timing does not matter. In terms of, your manifestations, your biggest blessings, your highest timeline, it doesn't, because it's existing when you're thinking about it. It's existing when you accept it, when you surrender to it. Because everything comes from within. Everything comes from within. It's not outside of you. It's not the universe, teasing you, playing tricks with you. It's all up to you. And when you want these manifestations to come in, when you want these manifestations to be accepted, okay, because when I'm using the term manifestation is instant, okay? We could have desires, pray for our desires, but as soon as we accept it, as soon as we can actually accept it with our full body, with our consciousness, with our subconsciousness, that is when it's manifested. That is when it's manifested. Not when it comes into the physical reality, but when you accept it. Everything else out here, the outside universe, is just dense. It's catching up. It's catching up. Yes, everything comes from within. The manifestations are instant. The moment that you accept it as manifested. When you remember that, when it comes to your highest timeline, your highest desires, time doesn't exist. It's here right now. Anyway, these were the messages I had for you. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for being here. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, live, laugh, and love. Okay, thank you. Bye!